Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the May 1st edition of the From the Bench podcast. May 1st, this being a Tuesday, 2018. I'm Mark Janish, your host for the From the Bench podcast. You can listen to any and all podcasts from the bench via Stitcher, Radio, or Libsyn. That is available. Also wanted to let you know we do have our own RSS feed. So this episode will be posted at accessmediaglobal.com, which is my website. I want to thank all of you listening around the world from Peru, Canada, the United States, Norway, Mexico, and other nations that are checking in regarding the website. We've posted some highlights, daily highlights from the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Anaheim Angels. So we're doing that. Also posting some NHL and some daily NBA highlights by NBA.com. You can go to my NBA page and you can click on some feeds, and then you'll be able to get a lot of that material that I don't necessarily cover on the podcast will be available then. I also wanted to let you guys know that some of the stuff that I'm going to be bringing up here for the foreseeable future, just to let you guys know, I'm bringing up the website right now. I want to go to it and open it up. Oh, unfortunately, won't be able to do that. Let's go to the home page just a moment. All right, looking at the home page, just to let you know where we are. You see at the top of the page, that'll be where the podcast, this and any other podcast, you can use the menu and scroll down to episodes. And all the episodes, as I said earlier, will be located on Libsyn and Stitcher Radio for right now. I might expand that in the time yet future, but wanted to go ahead and let you know we do have the 115th season of minor league baseball updated weekly. That's an updated weekly post, May 1 to 7. You see there. If you go to accessmediaglobal.com, you can follow me. The audio links are there for the Salt Lake Bees, the Oklahoma City Dodgers, the El Paso Chihuahuas, and the Tacoma Rainiers out of the PCL. So you get your PCL coverage. There's audio links there. You can listen to all the games. I update that post weekly so that you can listen to some AAA baseball. You do see the daily recaps of the MLB there. You do have the daily highlights. I have some playoff highlights with the NBA logo there. And, of course, some NHL highlights. Strong performances by the Winnipeg Jets, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and, of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the defending champions at that particular point. I also have some podcasts available. Now, what will happen during the weekend? I usually post Buster Olney's weekly links to his podcast for the week. That's not something that I would normally do during the week. It's just too much to do right now with posting those other informational stuff. So the other podcasts that I usually post and will be posting, have been posting, are Andrew Marchand. Now, what's actually happened, this is related to Richard Deutsch, who does a media podcast, reviews media. He has some media guests Now, if you were to go to the search page for Access Media Global, you could also go ahead and just do a search, and you can find that. What he's decided to do is go to The Athletic, which is a paid subscription service, which gives you some in-depth stories and headlines. So has Peter Gammon. So to speaking to that, Andrew Marchand is hosting the media podcast that Richard Deutsch used to host at si.com. I'm going to have that weekly. I'm also going to have the new Richard Deutsch podcast via The Athletic. There's all kinds of podcast opportunities to be heard. So if you would like to listen to those things, those are some things that I think there's some value to. Also, I post the MLS podcast during the week from MLSsoccer.com. The Extra Time podcast. I used to post some Premier League stuff, and I also have some Premier League standings and links on my soccer page. You can go ahead and look at Series A soccer, La Liga, and the EPL and the MLS. And so for your soccer fix, you can go there. I'm definitely going to be focusing more on soccer as the World Cup approaches for the month of June, just to let you know, viewers in the United States and listeners in the United States. FS1 and Fox will be carrying the majority of the games this year. Unfortunately, the United States is not in the playoffs, not in the World Cup. They didn't qualify based upon poor performances against Trinidad and Tobago. So that was not necessarily good. What I wanted to just address with you today, also on the NFL page, the NFL draft just happened. Now, I haven't commented on the NFL draft. I'm going to actually do a podcast when I do comment more heavily. What I do want to point you to, however, is the Los Angeles Raiders, mistake. The Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders, schedule is up. The Los Angeles Rams schedule is up. And so is the Seattle Seahawks schedule and the Los Angeles Chargers. So you can go to the NFL football page. You can scroll. You can use the drop-down menu there. And in the carousel on that page, you'll definitely see the rotating schedules for the football. Minor League Baseball is also on underneath the MLB tab as well. The NBA basketball tab, I haven't really commented on anything basketball-wise, but I will say this. The Cleveland Cavaliers, strangely, this is looking like 2007 when LeBron James made it to the finals with pretty much of a secondary, I wouldn't say a no-name team at the time, but he didn't have anybody around him to propel him to the championship. And, of course, the 76ers. The Cleveland Cavaliers lost in 2007. I believe the game summary was 4-1 at that point, if my memory serves me correctly. And so LeBron James looks a little bit tired. He is going to be facing the Toronto Raptors tonight in Game 1. Now, the Raptors were 4-2 and 4-0 the last 2 years. This is the third year in a row that the Raptors have faced the Cavaliers. I'll be looking for DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry to carry the load for the Toronto Raptors. Also, I'll be looking very heavily into their bench, that is improved. Now, Dwayne Casey, if you remember correctly, did coach in Seattle under George Karl. I respect Dwayne Casey a lot, but he's really got to show me something in this series, and I will not necessarily guarantee that LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to make another title run. They definitely need greater contributions from the likes of their new players, Larry Nance Jr., Rodney Hood, and the like. So I'd also like to see Tristan Thompson continue to rebound the basketball and continue to chip in with his points. And, of course, J.R. Smith, his jump shot comes and goes. he's either on or he's off, and he must be engaged as the Toronto Raptors face the Cleveland Cavaliers in the series. Also, want to give a shout out to Brad Stevens, coach of the Boston Celtics. The Celtics, 117-101 winners last night. You can get the highlights from the news page, which I indicated at accessmediaglobal.com. Tonight's games, the Game 2, Warriors and Pelicans. Steph Curry, probable to be playing tonight. I think he will play tonight, but probable to me, when I say probable, I translate that as about a 50-50 shot that he's going to play. We don't necessarily want to see him re-injure himself. He's been injured multiple times, and looking forward to that tonight. That's at a 7:30 tonight from the Oracle in Oakland, California. Should be loud and obnoxious and enjoyable. So that's 7:30 tonight Pacific time. In the United States, it'll be on the Turner Network television. And, of course, the Cavalier and Raptor game. Almost said the Pacers, but the Pacers were just eliminated by LeBron James of the Cavaliers, 105-101 over the weekend. So we're looking at what we'll be looking at tonight is on TNT at 5 p.m. The Cavaliers and the Raptors. Follow that up on TNT in the U.S. 7:30 Pacific time or thereabouts, depending on when the first game ends. TNT. Game 2, the Warriors and the Pelicans. I think the key to the series is going to be Jrue Holiday and Rajon Rondo for the Pelicans, because Anthony Davis, even though he's an up-and-coming player, he's not necessarily at the stage experience-wise where he's going to be able to do everything himself. Of course, there's many, many people that believe he is the heir apparent to LeBron James as far as talent and notoriety and marketability and things of this nature. But I'm not sure about that at this point. So, at this particular point, just know that you're going to get the daily highlights for the NBA, MLB, and have some PCL action available to you. We're going to definitely follow up with some football talk, NFL-wise, coming up. But I haven't posted a podcast here in about from the last couple of weeks or in the last couple of weeks. So thought I would just at least touch base with you today and let you know what's going on. Also wanted to cover some surprises in the Major League Baseball. The 20-10 Astros, the defending champion, they're first place in the American League West, 2.5 games behind the Seattle Mariners, who are 16-11. They open a series tonight against Oakland in Seattle, a 6-game homestand. I believe you have the Oakland A's for 3, and you have over the weekend the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'm not sure whether Shohei Ohtani is going to be able to pitch. He should be pitching based on his availability, which is day-to-day because he sprained an ankle running out a grounder a couple of days ago. He's day-to-day. He should start sometime during the series in Seattle, but that's up to Mike Scioscia and crew. The Angels are 16-12 after getting off to a very, very warm start. Arizona out of the National League West, 20-8 as of today. Games tonight, I believe, against San Francisco. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in a little bit of trouble. 2016 Rookie of the Year, Corey Seager with a UCL tear. He is slated for Tommy John surgery, so we could say goodbye to his 2018 season. Hopefully he'll be ready for 2019. This is just another blow to the defending National League champions Dodgers after losing the World Series in November. Game 7, we all know about it. Yu Darvish decided that he wanted to tip his pitches and cause angst for Dodger fans across Southern California, across the United States, and around the world. So Some other things I want to address is the surprising New York Mets, 17-9, leading the National League East. Another surprise team, 16-12, the Philadelphia Phillies, about 2 games out. And then, of course, I believe the Atlanta Braves are 16-11. Just took a look at the standings today, so wanted to go ahead and share those things with you. We do have the Boston Red Sox 19-7. The 19-7 front-running Red Sox destroyed the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim over the weekend with Mookie Betts hitting home runs out of Anaheim Stadium like they were rockets from Disneyland. But anyway, we have a 21-7 team right now. The Red Sox surprising everyone around baseball, for that matter, the American League. They're looking for, I believe, their 3rd championship, 3rd straight division title, 21-7. And then, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, Brian Price has been released from Cincinnati, 7-22. People, 7-22. We also have the Kansas City Royals, 2015 Darlings, going to the World Series with Lorenzo Cain and crew, who's now been shipped to Milwaukee over the off season. Tremendously, it seems like the Royals are constantly rebuilding, and even though they re-signed Mike Moustakas for less money than he would have gotten on the free agent market, it's just amazing to me that the Royals are doing so poorly. 7-21. Now, just to let you know, this is the 30th anniversary of, speaking of futility, the team that has the record for most consecutive losses historically would be the Baltimore Orioles of 1988 with Cal Ripken, Billy Ripken, and Eddie Murray was on that team, and so was Terry Kennedy. Good players in their own right in the mid to late 80s. They started off the 1988 season 0-21. So hopefully, as was enunciated by Cal Ripken Jr. over MLB Network, which is essentially a network devoted to baseball here in the U.S., and you can get that on your local cable and satellite listings. But for those of you that are listening worldwide, that's a network that's totally dedicated 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days in a calendar year to baseball. So he was actually on a morning program here in the U.S. Talking about the futility of the 0-21 Baltimore Orioles. So for those of you that might want to Google that, you can go to baseballreference.com. That's also one of my favorite sites. So we're going to come back and we'll be talking about a little bit of baseball and some football and so forth. So wanted to just touch base with you for about 20, 25 minutes a day. Let you know that I haven't forgotten you, especially those of you soccer aficionados out there who are wondering what I'm going to do with the World Cup. We're going to get some World Cup podcasts potentially up, and excited to see that happening, even though despite the fact that the Team USA is not involved in that. You can also always go to the soccer page, get your soccer fix. You can also go to the NFL football page, anything Seahawks, Raiders, Rams, Chargers. But I also wanted to let you know that on the soccer page and on some subsequent pages, I do have the Twitter feeds of some local teams and some regional teams. In the case of the soccer teams, Twitter feeds of Chelsea, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Arsenal are on the lower part of the page. The constantly updated Twitter feeds for those of you that are social media experts and those of you that are focusing on the social media aspect of that. I also have, ironically, with Mr. Carlson, number 71, scoring a goal at 12:47 with 12:47 left in the third and 12:47 left in overtime last night. I have the Los Angeles Kings, the Anaheim Ducks, the San Jose Sharks, and the Las Vegas Knights. Their Twitter feeds are also available down the page in the NHL hockey section of the website. You go to accessmediaglobal.com for all this information. I'll be back later this week. Probably will not be tomorrow, but it may be by the next couple of days. We're going to get more in depth into the schedule that's been proposed for the 2018 season. We're going to discuss some Rams, discuss some Raiders. We're going to discuss some Seahawks and Rashad Penny. Seahawks found him in the first round because they traded up to get him at that particular point. So happy to have Rashad Penny aboard. Looking forward to John Gruden's first season as Raider head coach. We'll be talking a little bit about some of the Rams moves with Ndamukong Suh coming to the fold, Aqib Talib, and so forth, coming to Los Angeles to help Sean McVay. For AccessMediaGlobal.com and the From the Bench podcast, I'm your host, Mark Janish, saying thank you for joining me. You have a great, great day, and we'll be talking to you in the next couple of days with NFL-heavy podcasts as we review the schedules that I mentioned. And for any other information that you need, any other podcasts, you're welcome to go to Libsyn or Stitcher, Stitcher Radio or Libsyn. Of course, I'll be posting this podcast just as soon as the RSS feed is available. You have a great evening once again. For May 1st, 2018, I'm Mark Janish. Thank you for listening to the From the Bench podcast. You have a great day, and I appreciate your patronage and viewership for this May 1st, 2018.